Hello and welcome to Show Up, Stand Out online visibility series for entrepreneurs. My name is Juliette Stapleton. I'm a visibility strategist, and my guest today is Baer. And Davis is a co-founder of OneUp, a social media scheduling tool that actually is really, really cool. I think that I just found the tool. And that's why I have Davis on my show. So let's talk about it. So Davis, tell me about this tool. What are the advantages and ease of use and everything you can about it?
Well, thank you for the intro, and yeah, thanks for having me on, Juliette. So like you said, I'm the co-founder of a social media scheduling tool called OneUp. So what OneUp does that a lot of other tools don't do is OneUp allows you to repeat posts at set intervals, such as once a week or once a month or even once every 6 months, once a year. So it'd probably be most similar to Meet Edgar for those familiar with that. However, Meet Edgar kind of has an inhibiting price of $49 a month. So it makes it pretty difficult for, most entrepreneurs to afford to pay for that, unless you're bringing in a ton of monthly revenue. So what we tried to do is create a super simple and easy to use tool at a very affordable price to help people with their social media reach.
Well, this is actually a good point about the price, because when a lot of people start, and in this audience, definitely, guys, I think that you can relate. When you start and you go online, yes, you might even have a business, and some of you have a business offline, and some of you don't have a business offline, but online. But the thing is that it's expensive to spend money on every tool, and a lot of you are bootstrapping, and it sometimes is a big factor. For every level in your business, there is a certain expenses that you should be having, and then certain expenses that you don't need to have. So for me personally, I was really surprised at the value of the tool, but what it can do. And I have used a tool that could, repurpose your content. So for example, if you're in my group, Social Media Visibility That Gets Clients, you know that we sometimes do daily themes. Sometimes I do them, sometimes I change them, but I used a tool like that, not OneUp up to now, but I used it before. But the problem with the tool, I found that it was more difficult to use. It's not that it was difficult to use, but there was too many different places you have to go. And it's just every time you have to change a tab, or every time you have to click somewhere else on a different page, that's your time. And if we lose the time, we can't get it back, right? So something that allows us to do things on the same place in the same time and do it very quickly, that's a huge advantage to me. Like, I want to be in one place, and I want to connect my page and my group and my personal profile, my Twitter and my, Google Plus, Pinterest, whatever. So I don't have to go to those platforms, and, I can focus on one, which is my Facebook, and, I teach about Facebook, but it doesn't mean that we don't have to repurpose our content and be everywhere with it,
Right,
so let's talk about the tool.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, would you like me to do a quick screen share and kind of demo the product?
Please, let's do this. Yes?
Okay, awesome. So yeah, this is OneUp. I'll just kind of do a quick tour of it. So when you log in, the first thing you're going to want to do is on the accounts page, you're just going to connect your social accounts. So, you just click one of these buttons. And you can see we do have Google Plus here, even though we do have Google Plus support, even though it won't matter for much longer. And, you just connect your profiles. So you can connect both Facebook pages and Facebook groups, as well as Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn pages, and LinkedIn profiles. And then we do have Instagram in kind of a private beta right now. So that's why you see that on my account. So yeah, that's kind of in the works, but not live yet. So you just connect your profile, and then, you'll see all your profiles listed down here. Then the next thing you would do is on the category page here, you just create some different categories. So, if you post memes, or you have, daily posts that you want to go out, you just create the category. You can code it by color, and choose which accounts you want connected to that category. So pretty simple step. And then after that, you're ready to schedule a post. So this is where One Up is a little different from Meet Edgar, because with Meet Edgar, for anyone who's watching this that's used it before, you probably know that like just to get started, you basically have to take hours of time to like create this content library. You know, because Meet Edgar doesn't really give you value unless you have, you know, at least, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 posts, you know, so it can start recycling through it.
It's something that would probably suit more agencies than entrepreneurs with just one business to manage, you know.
Yeah, and some people, you know, some people already have a huge library of posts that they can upload to Meet Edgar immediately, and, you know, maybe that works for them. But, you know, it's also expensive at the same time. So what we do a little differently is, well, let me go back to Meet Edgar. With Meet Edgar, you know, you have to, if you have a library of posts, let's say you have one certain post that you want to repeat once every 3 months. That's super hard to do with Meet Edgar, because you're going to have to try to time up, you know, how many posts you have in your queue with how often it's posting. And then, you know, especially if you're adding more posts on, it becomes this complex math problem where it's like, how often is this going to actually be posted? You
lost me already with that, even the explanation. Exactly. Like, you know, how can a normal human mortal being do it?
Right. And it can work fine if you're not really worried about, you know, how often it gets posted, and you're, you know, if you just want it to be more passive. But if you want it to post, you know, on set intervals to make sure that it's getting, you know, published and republished to your audience at certain intervals, we try to make that super easy with One Up. So yeah, so we're in the schedule a post page here. You would just select a category, and then, you know, you would select an account that you want to post to. So there's a Facebook page. So, you know, I'll just say hello, and I can add a link here. I could add a image or a video file. And then down here, it's asking, is this evergreen content? So
before you go further, can I ask you a question? Because I know that some of the viewers will definitely have a question, and you already said something that probably they started wondering, why would you need to repost something in 3 months? Or because has to do with evergreen content. So so just before we go, just so we don't confuse anyone.
No, happy to answer that. Yeah, so evergreen content, all that term means is, evergreen means content that doesn't really have a shelf life. So it's content that's going to be interesting and relevant to your audience, you know, a few weeks from now, a few months from now, even a few years from now.
So it doesn't have a date, or it doesn't have that kind of like, buy now this product at this, you know, none of that.
Right. Yeah. So if you're, you know, if you're sharing an article about, you know, the Golden Globes last night or something, you know, that probably is not evergreen content, because, you know, it's super timely and, you know, relevant only to like that period of time. However, most blog posts, a lot of podcasts, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of just social media posts, they're things that don't really expire. You know, they don't have, they're not going to be irrelevant, you know, a couple months from now. So why would someone want to repeat their post? You know, because we have people ask us a lot, like, is it good to repeat my post? Like, will my audience be bothered by it? So you got to keep in mind, when you share something on social media, depending on which social network you're using, but normally it's only seen by about 5% of your audience, each post.
Especially on business pages on Facebook, that would be even less.
Right, and you know, it could be higher if you have better engagement, but you know, it's normally around 5%. So just because you post it, you know, you're seeing it, you kind of feel like, oh, like I remember this, you know, from 3 months ago or 6 months ago. Like, you know, you see everything you post, so it seems super familiar to you. Whereas to your audience, you know, they're probably, there's all chance, to be honest, that they probably saw the original post. So it's a chance to, you know, just drive traffic and engagement to, you know, your blog or your website, or, you know, wherever you're trying to drive traffic to. And it's also a way to kind of set up your schedule to free yourself a little. Because like, I know, and I'm sure you know too, Juliette, that like that kind of dreaded feeling when you're like, crap, I don't have anything in my queue, I don't have anything ready to post, and I have to go search across the internet for things to post on social media. And it's just a time suck that.
But then it turns into procrastination. You might not post anything, and it's a consistency game when you're on social media. If you want to be noticed, you have to be seen all the time. The other thing as well I have to add here with the evergreen posts and this idea of, I don't want to bombard people, or they've already seen, or it's somewhere. Imagine how many posts we see every day from pages, from people, on every social media network. So chances are that somebody even remembers that you posted this 3 months ago, unless it just like went and changed their lives. But even if that's the case and they'll see it again, that's just a reminder. It's actually going to give more positive reaction because it's something familiar to them. If they see that 50 times every day, yes, they will get tired, but once in 3 months, no way. Even I know that I write for some magazines, and they repost the articles every month. Every month I get tagged, same article, same exact post, but not everybody saw that, and people still go and read them.
Right.
So this is something you can do with your blog.
Right, yeah, and that's, we see that as a common use case, bloggers using it just to, because you take all this time writing a blog post, because if you write a good blog post, you and I both know that takes a significant amount of time and work. But for most people, they then share it on, across their social media pages once, right after it's posted.
But you can also share your lives, because you will get a link after the live is published. You'll get a link to that live. You can share the best of your lives, the best of your interviews, like this show that I have. That's exactly how I'm going to use it, because yes, I have my live show on Tuesdays, but I want to have replays, and I can just create, best of the replays, and that's extra content that will go to extra people. And and I know, for example, in my business, that interviews bring a lot of business.
Right. Yeah, and you got to remember, in 3 months, 6 months time, a year's time, you're probably going to get new followers on social media too. And they've never seen that old, no one's going to scroll back through all your old posts.
No, we don't have time for that. Even when you're doing your research on competitors, you actually will just scroll maybe a month. Like it's an impossible task. Nobody does it.
Right. Yeah. So for all those people, even if you're repeating it, they're seeing it for the first time too. So yeah, so at the bottom here, that's all evergreen content is asking. So it's asking, do you want to post it once, or do you want to have it repeat? So, I can have it repeat repeat by day, week, month, once every 3 months, 6 months, or once every year. So you just want to choose, whatever interval you think is appropriate for your audience. Most posts, repeating it every day probably isn't going to be a good thing, because at that point, it's probably going to be too much. However, repeat every week, that's a super relevant one for anyone that has a Facebook group where they have weekly, daily engagement posts, where it's like promote yourself Monday, and everyone can share a link. So for the admins of those groups, it's kind of tedious every Monday to remember to schedule that, or schedule that post or post that post, week after week after week. Whereas with OneUp, you can just write the post, schedule it to repeat week after week, and then, that's one less thing you have to worry about.
That is so true. And you know what worked for me with the weekly schedule? I will share with you guys. And if you're a student of Fearless Client Attraction course, you have access to 855 random questions. I've been using this tool to schedule random questions going once a week on my personal profile. They were like, what color socks are you wearing? They were, some of them business related, some of them completely not. And I would wake up to hundreds of comments. Well, maybe not hundreds every time, but to so many comments. And the socks one was very popular one. That's the one that got hundreds of comments. Everybody wanted to tell me about the socks. And imagine the engagement I was creating. So the more engagement I'm creating, the more I'm boosting this algorithm, more people see of my, the posts. These people who engage with me, they'll see much more of my stuff. So this kind of engaging type of posts are amazing to have. Maybe once a week, once a month, you can create the whole library that they are being reused, and that's something that's very interesting to tap into. Yeah.
And I agree completely. And then, for posts that you want to repeat a certain amount of times, but then, maybe after a few times you decide, okay, like I've probably gotten all the value I can out of it. At the bottom here, it's asking how many times do you want this to be posted before it expires? So
this is brilliant. I haven't even tapped into this part yet.
Yeah, so if I want this hello post to repeat every week, but maybe I think after 4 times, then my audience will be tired of being told hello. Then I just set it to expire after being posted 4 times, or you can do it by date too. And then you can either post it now or you can schedule it out for the future. So
that's actually very handy when you have a launch or something like that, that you can even create a launch and you'll put that same image every day, maybe to post every day, because not everybody sees it and different people will see it every day, and then expire it, say 4 or 5 days every day you're posting this, and then just or expire it after a certain date. That's brilliant, actually. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's basically it in a nutshell. So that's how you schedule a post. And then right now we're looking at the queue, so you can just see all your posts, in this queue here. So here's our post. Hello, it's set to be posted at 10:31 a.m. Eastern time, which is where I am right now. So by now it's actually already posted. But down here, it shows that it's set to recycle weekly. So it's going to post today, and then it's also going to be posted on October 19th. And on the side here, it shows it's going to expire after 4 more posts, or 3 more after, the one that just posts. And then, I can edit or delete the actual post right here. But yeah, that's basically it. We just try to make it super easy for you to schedule content and, schedule content that you want repeated, over time, over set intervals.
It's just so easy to use, and it's all in one. I absolutely love it. What's those failed posts I noticed there in the corner? How do we deal with them?
Oh, so these right here?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, so if you're trying to, let's see. Well, this is because I actually uploaded the same RSS feed at the same time, 2 times. So that's why these failed. But if you get any failed posts, normally it's just going to be because you either did something wrong, or you tried to upload like a video, like longer, like for example, Twitter has a maximum video length. So if you try to upload a video that's longer than Twitter's maximum length, then it will just give you a failed.
So you can go into your failed, if you see any posts that are failed, just go in there and, try and troubleshoot then what did you do wrong, and just edit it. You can't, I don't think you can edit it from the failed post, can you? You just have to kind of copy the stuff and...
from the failed, you would just reschedule it again and, adjust for whatever it failed.
All right, okay, very good. I missed that. I thought that you have to copy and paste. See, I'm not perfect as well. I don't it's great to have Davis here explaining all this, so we know exactly how we can use it. So what else do we have here that's interesting? Analytics actually was very interesting for engagement, I thought.
Yeah, so in the analytics section, you just go to post engagement, and then here you can sort by, most likes, most shares, least likes, least shares, and you just go through and see which of your posts has the the most traction.
I found that part really good because, I always say to guys, they say, how do I know what to post? And I offer, in my course, I offer a lot of different types of posts, but not everything will work for every audience, because some audiences it depends on the age, it depends on their interests, things like that. And I found that, looking at that at a glance, or especially being able to sort by, you can see what type of posts work for your audience and what are a waste of time. So if your audience never, let's say, interacts with maybe shared blog post links, well, do it anyway, because you want your content to be coming in, but just don't put too much emphasis on it. Put it on a recurring maybe, or schedule or something like that. Don't spend your time on it. Spend your time on something that people do engage. Maybe it's a live video. Maybe for you it will be a written post. It depends on your audience. But that's a very good schedule, a very good section to check out. Yeah.
And then there's one other thing that I'll show you here. So under scheduled posts, we looked at schedule single post before. There's also schedule multiple posts, so you can just upload posts from your computer, or you can upload a spreadsheet of posts. Then down here is the import from RSS feed. So this will be really handy for any bloggers that, if they automatically want any new blog post to post to their social networks, all you would do is add your blog feed URL. Then you would just choose which account you want it to be posted to. And then you can select the interval, in minutes between how often it's posting. So this would be if someone has, a lot of blog posts, so you can spread it out, every 2 hours, 120 minutes if you want. And then you can also have those posts repeat automatically. So, it's posting when it's originally, posting on your blog, but then you can also have it repeat automatically.
So when the interval between each post from this feed, just to make it clear for someone. So say I am blogging, but I'm blogging like once a week or once in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So if I'm putting the feed there, it doesn't mean that every 2 hours is going to be posting, or does it?
No, right. And this is like the minimum interval between posts. So if you only post once a week, then it's only. It's
going to recognize it just only once a week. It's only if you have, if you're a social media examiner and you have hundreds of blog posts coming in. Yeah.
Exactly. Because we do have some people who, own these publications using OneUp, and, they have a whole bunch of posts coming through. So yeah, for them, that would be more relevant. But, for you, if you're only posting once a week, then yeah.
So don't get hooked up on this, guys. That doesn't mean that every 2 hours you're going to just leave it at whatever, So but it's very, very handy, because every time you post, you don't need to then also spend time on going and sharing that. You just create the schedule, and it does that, and then you can repost it, say every month or every 3 months. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So, and what I'll add to that is, you can certainly do it with your own blog, but what you can also do is, if you follow someone else's blog, and you like everything that they say, and you're happy to share it, you can add their blog feed, so that way whenever they post something, it's automatically posting to your audience, and that way it's just one less thing for you to schedule out, and it's one more automated content going out to your audience, so that you don't have to think about it, and you're just sharing quality content automatically.
Yeah, but people do engage with your post. Somebody can read that, they can put a like, it's going to be an engagement. Even if they click on that post, it's still, if you're doing it on your Facebook page, for example, Facebook page collects data from everything that happens. So if somebody saw that article, it's not your article, but they saw it and they liked it, or they clicked a like, or they clicked a share, you are getting that engagement. These people, you can then retarget these people with your ads when you're using ads. So everything that you're doing has a long sort of term game on Facebook anyway. So this is a really, really good point about using. So for me, for example, if I'm a visibility strategist, I could put something that posts maybe news on social media, like Social Media Examiner or something, that I like sharing their articles, So This is a really, really good thing.
One other thing I'll show you. So you have the normal queue, where you can kind of see everything in chronological order, but we also have the calendar view here, so that you can see all your posts on an actual calendar, and it's drag and drop too. So if I want to move something, Friday to Saturday, I just do that.
Oh, that's a huge advantage, because that tool that I used, you had to delete it and go and do it all again if you just chose the wrong day or something. This is brilliant.
Right, and you can click on a post too, and then edit it directly from the calendar as well. If I wanted to add something right here.
Yeah, huge time saver. It's brilliant, because you can spend, if you are someone who finds, difficult to keep up with consistencies, a tool like that has a huge advantage. You can put yourself like an hour on a Sunday afternoon that you are scheduling your content. And some content, like blog posts from other people, like some of the recurring maybe themes in your group, there could be other things that you can have a library of posts that worked for you. You wrote something, and anytime you have a very good post, you should always save it. I use Trello, for example, to save my good posts because I can repost them. So you can create the schedule, and half of the time that you should be spending on social media to be visible, to be consistent, half the time is free. So you can focus on actually growing business and doing money making activities, because consistency is important to grow your visibility. But these are high impact activities. They're not money making activities like doing a live stream and asking for a sale, or things like that. This is so handy. So fantastic. Thank you so much for this overview.
Okay, and another thing you can do using OneUp is we have a Chrome extension that makes it super easy to schedule images from anywhere on the web. So to do that, under schedule posts, you just click pick images from any site. And then once this pops up, you would just click get Chrome extension and download the Chrome extension. So I already have it downloaded. It just looks like this in the top right corner here. So what you can do, let me pull up a new tab. So let's say we're searching trees, for example, and we want to schedule a ton of images of trees because you have a tree Facebook page or something like that. So, normally what some people might do is, copy and paste a whole bunch of tree images and post it on Facebook. But using OneUp, you just click the Chrome extension button, and then immediately this will pop up. So basically it pulls every image from whatever page you're on, and it asks you, what you want to select. So let's say I want to select, these 4 trees to post. I click them, I hit schedule. All right, so yeah, once you click schedule, this will pop up, and you can see the 4 trees that we selected here. And then you can edit the description, add links in here, because you probably don't want this. And what OneUp does that makes it easy, you can click on the top to bulk update everything. So, if I want to say, check out my trees, that then updated it for all of them. And then
that's so cool. So you can save a link to your website there, but then you can go through them and just maybe edit so it's not exactly the same wording, but the link that you don't have to copy and paste every time.
Right.
It's such a pain.
Right, exactly. So yeah, you can add, just add your website there, and then it's added to all the images. And then you can also choose to repeat those posts too, if you want to repeat them, at set intervals. Then you just choose the time you want it posted, and that's it.
So you can create that, and then for each individual one as well, you can decide what date and what time to post it in.
Exactly. So yeah, and you can also edit each of these individually if you want different descriptions on each image. You can of course do that, and you can individually select the time and date of each post. Or if you're scheduling, maybe you select 100 images, what you can do is you can just set the interval between each post. So maybe once an hour you want, your image of a tree posting. You can just select, how. So like right here, did this pop-up show up, the select date and time? Are you seeing that, Juliette?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you just change that to interval 60 minutes between posts, starting at, let's say, 1 p.m. today.
I have a great idea how you can use that, guys, in real time, because sometimes you can say, why would I do a day that's, say, it's going to be an engagement exercise. You can do a day that's like a marathon of something. Say, if you were trees, that would be like the trees. And what you can do is a call to action there, and you say, tree marathon day. Every hour I'm posting a picture of a tree. You have to comment on the picture of the tree that you love, or something like that. It could be anything, not just trees, but anything that you, and do that trees for like 4 hours, marathon. And that will justify you posting these pictures, but you can do that literally within, you know, like 1 minute or whatever. It's so fast to do it. The other thing as well, just in terms of privacy and copyright, you can, if you're doing it in Google, you can choose the images that are free to use for public, you know, they have the license that, you know, you don't need to be using.
Right. And the Chrome extension works on any site too. So if you're familiar with Unsplash, you know, that's a common free site image. You go to Unsplash, you know, and that's all free, you know, high quality images. Just click the Chrome extension on there, and then, you know, you have all free images.
Wow, that's even better. Exactly. Then you don't have any problems and you can just get that. That's really awesome. Thank you so much for showing us this trick.
Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, so the website is oneupapp.io. And yeah, there we have a 7-day free trial. So anyone can test it out, you know, and make sure that you like it and it's for you before, you know, ever submitting any credit card information.
And the most important question is, and we started with this, so we better finish. What is the fee? Starting fee.
So yeah, the lowest tier is just $9.99 a month.
I highly recommend, guys, that's just, the link is going to be in the description of this video. So get yourself an account now and start posting, because if you don't use something like this, you will procrastinate and you won't be consistent. And I'm telling you that because I know the hard way. And something like that can really help you with being visible consistently. Guys, well, this is us for today. It was myself, Juliette Stapleton, and Baer from OneUp, that you should get yourself an account in. And I will see you next Tuesday with another episode of Show Up, Stand Out. Thank you so much for watching. And